The rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Rome, a city that began as a small settlement on the banks of the River Tiber and later transformed into the greatest empire the world had ever seen. Its story is a tale of ambition, glory, and innovation, but also one of corruption, betrayal, and downfall. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire is not just the history of one nation. It is the story of human civilization itself, of how power is gained, how it is sustained, and how inevitably it collapses. According to legend, Rome was founded by the twin brothers Romulus and Remus, raised by a she-wolf after being abandoned as infants. In this myth, Romulus eventually killed Remus and named the new city after himself, Rome. While this tale is a mixture of myth and folklore, it symbolizes the Roman belief in strength, survival, and destiny. From these humble origins, Rome grew from a small tribal village into a kingdom, and then, after overthrowing its monarchy in 509 BCE, into a republic governed by senators and elected officials. This Roman Republic would become the foundation of Roman power. The Republic was a system that allowed Rome to expand militarily while maintaining a structure of law and governance. Rome fought fierce wars with neighboring tribes and nations, but its greatest rival was Carthage in North Africa. In a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars, Rome ultimately triumphed. The destruction of Carthage gave Rome undisputed dominance in the Mediterranean world. Through determination, superior military organization, and discipline, Rome became the master of vast territories stretching from Spain to Greece, from North Africa to Asia Minor. But victory brought not only power, it also brought problems. Wealth flowed into Rome, but so did inequality. The Republic was rocked by internal tensions as wealthy senators grew more powerful, while ordinary citizens struggled. Amid this chaos rose one of the most famous figures in history, Julius Caesar. A brilliant general, Caesar expanded Rome's territory by conquering Gaul, present-day France, and his victories made him immensely popular among the people. But his growing influence threatened the Senate. In 49 BCE, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River with his army, a bold move that ignited a civil war. Emerging victorious, Caesar declared himself dictator for life. Yet his ambition led to fear among his peers. In 44 BCE, he was assassinated by senators who hoped to preserve the Republic. But instead of saving the Republic, Caesar's assassination plunged Rome into deeper chaos. Civil wars erupted again, and from this turmoil emerged Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, later known as Augustus. In 27 BCE, Augustus became Rome's first emperor, marking the end of the Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Under Augustus, Rome entered its golden age. This era, known as the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, lasted for over 2 centuries. It was a time of stability, prosperity, and remarkable achievements. Roman legions secured the borders of the empire, ensuring peace within. Roads were built across thousands of miles, connecting distant provinces and allowing trade, communication, and movement of armies. All roads lead to Rome was not just a saying, it was a reality. Aqueducts carried water into cities, feeding public baths and fountains. Monumental structures, such as the Colosseum and the Pantheon, showcased the grandeur of Roman engineering and architecture. Roman law and governance became models for future civilizations, and Latin, the language of Rome, would later evolve into many of the modern European languages. Yet even in this golden age, cracks began to form. The empire had grown too vast to be managed easily. While the Roman legions were disciplined and powerful, defending such enormous borders drained the empire's resources. Corruption spread within the Senate and the bureaucracy, while emperors often turned into tyrants. Some, like Nero and Caligula, are remembered not for their governance, but for their excesses and cruelty. At the same time, the Roman economy became strained by heavy taxation and reliance on slave labor, which stifled innovation. Another major change was the rise of Christianity. In the early centuries of the empire, Christians were persecuted for refusing to worship the Roman gods and the emperor. But despite this, Christianity spread rapidly, offering hope and spiritual equality to people across the empire. By the early 4th century, Emperor Constantine embraced Christianity, and it became the dominant faith of the Roman world. While this gave Rome a new cultural identity, it also weakened the old traditions that had once united Roman society under shared gods and rituals. As internal weaknesses grew, external threats pressed harder. From the north and east came barbarian tribes, Goths, Vandals, Huns, who repeatedly invaded Roman territories. The empire's military, once its greatest strength, was overstretched and increasingly reliant on mercenaries with little loyalty to Rome. In 410 CE, the Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked the city of Rome. For the first time in nearly 800 years, the Eternal City had fallen to an enemy. This was a devastating psychological blow. By the mid-5th century, the Western Roman Empire was crumbling. Provinces broke away, trade declined, and cities decayed. Finally, in 476 CE, the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. This event is often marked as the official fall of the Western Roman Empire. However, the eastern half, known as the Byzantine Empire, with its capital at Constantinople, would survive for nearly another 1,000 years until its fall in 1453. Although Rome fell, its legacy never truly disappeared. Roman law influenced the foundations of modern legal systems. Roman engineering and architecture remain wonders of the world. The Latin language gave birth to Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian, and shaped much of English. Christianity, once persecuted, became Rome's greatest gift to Western civilization, spreading across continents. The calendar we use today, our alphabets, and even our political ideals carry traces of Rome. The story of the Roman Empire is one of the greatest epics in human history. It is a reminder that even the mightiest powers are not invincible. Empires rise through ambition, discipline, and innovation, but they fall through corruption, division, and complacency. Rome was both a warning and an inspiration. Though the empire collapsed, the spirit of Rome, its ideas, its culture, and its influence lives on, shaping the world we inhabit today.